and it's really my son's influence.
Uh-huh.
As they are listening to these bands and discovering stuff, every once in a while they'll play a song as I'm like walking down the hallway or like drying the
Uh-huh.
dishes or something, and I just
Right.
stop and I'm like, "What is that?" And this was one of them. Just stopped me dead in my tracks, and I
Yeah.
was just mesmerized
I don't
by
remember
just the
that
very
ever happening
steady.
with my parents. Well, they like some good stuff, some stuff that I listen to, but stopping in their tracks, like, oh hey, you know.
Listen to Perry Como. How you doing, Chris?
Good, Greg. What do you got for me?
So I've got something within kind of recently. Some of the songs we've been reacting to lately have been like older songs, and this
Yeah,
one is back in 2008 and by
yeah,
Puscifer.
yeah, that's new to me.
Yeah, I thought so.
That's 20 years. That's brand new.
And the name of the song is "The Humbling River." And
Okay.
yeah, so I was smitten by it when I first heard it not that long ago through one of my sons. So I'm
Okay.
interested to see what your take is on the song.
Okay.
So go off
All
and
right.
listen to it and
I don't know
have a
if I'm
good
ready.
time.
I don't know if I'm ready to be smitten, but let's find out.
Okay.
Nature, nurture, heaven and home. Some of all and by them driven to conquer every mountain shown. But I've never crossed the river. Brave the forest, brave the stone. Brave the icy winds and fire. Braved and beat them on my own. Yet I'm helpless by the river. Angel, angel, what have I done? I face the quakes, the wind, the fire. I've conquered country, crown and throne. Why can't I cross this river? Angel, angel, what have I done? I faced the quakes, the wind, the fire. I've conquered country, crown and throne. Why can't I cross this river? Pay no mind to the battles you've won. It'll take a lot more than rage and muscle. Open your heart and hands, my son, or you'll never make it over the river.
I'm really liking the message on this one. I didn't know I'd be getting religion, but it's all cool. Let me play this back a little bit.
Rage and muscle. Open your heart and hands, my son, or you'll never make it over the river. It'll take a lot more than words and guns. A whole lot more than riches and muscle. The hands of the many must join as one, and together we'll cross the river. It'll take a lot more than words and guns, a whole lot more than riches and muscle. The hands of the many must join as one, and together we'll cross the river. Nature, nurture, heaven. It'll take a lot more than words and guns. Down all falling by the a whole lot more than riches and muscle. To conquer every mountain. The hands of the many must join as one, and together we'll cross the river. Brave the forest, brave. It'll take a lot more than
I love that back and forth with the lyrics, with the singers.
words and guns. Brave the icy winds. A whole lot more than riches and muscle. Brave and deep and on. The hands of the many must join as one, and together we'll cross the river. And together we'll cross the river. And together we'll cross the river. Nature, nurture, heaven and home. And together we'll cross the river. Nature, nurture, heaven and home. And together we'll cross the river.
Hey, you're back. Wow.
Hey, I'm
cool.
back through the magic of editing.
So what
Like a
say
time
you?
machine. What's
So
that?
what say you?
Say I liked it. I wasn't expecting something with like religious overtones, but I appreciate the sentiment, and the message was great. I'll get to the music in a minute, but the message, as far as, yeah, okay, you've done your personal struggle, you're trying to get across to the river. I guess that's
Right.
getting to heaven. Is that what that is?
You know, that was my initial take too. And then after doing some research, I don't know, I have some other ideas, but please go on.
Yeah. So wherever that is, whatever exactly that is you're getting to, but that's the goal of,
Yeah.
that's the reward for the struggle. So what I got out of it was the singer was saying, okay, I've struggled, I've fought through this, I've fought through that. I've got brawn, I've gone against things, and it's been successful. How come I can't get across the river? So
Right.
I guess that's only half the equation. The other is you're communing with your fellow humans. You open your heart. I think there's a line, you open your heart, you open your hands,
Yeah.
something to that effect.
Right.
And so that's something that I guess we always need to be reminded of, that because it's too easy to get caught up in our own struggle. That isn't quite enough to get across the river. Would probably be a lot easier if you opened up your heart to other people,
Right.
and work together. You help them, they help you. And I don't think this is a message that could be said too often.
Yeah, that's what
We
struck
need
me.
that reminder. Like,
Yeah. And that's what struck me too with that, connection there with people, with those lines, open your heart and hands, my son, or you'll never make it over the river. And
yeah,
I agree with
I
you.
really like that take on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
it didn't have, it didn't directly talk about any particular religion or anything like that. So it kind of left it open to the the listener, which is good because it's more universal, which is what it should be. And you reach more people. And the imagery was really good. It was powerful,
Hmm.
and of course, the music fitted perfectly.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, I
I
don't know if
just
you want to
love,
say any more about the lyrics,
well,
but
just that music, just because you touched on it, uh,
yeah,
it just went perfectly with the lyrics, because the lyrics are kind of, it's spiritual, it's
yeah,
deep, right? Anytime when someone
yeah,
is singing, talking about uh sort of redemption, or reflecting on his her life, and like,
hmm,
because my initial take on it was that this person may have died and is like trying to cross the river to heaven. And then the more I sort of looked at the lyrics, whatever, then I thought, it could even be like the person is alive. And at some point as you go along through your life, if you're living the good life, and you know being the kind way, uh, being hospitable, being kind to people, and all that. You kind of know in your heart, and maybe at some point later in life, as you grow older, things slow down. You feel like maybe you're closer to death, and you kind of reflect and say, what have I done?
uh,
I thought that the way I did my whole entire life, which is, fight the big battles, and, muscle and rage and all like that. And
right,
maybe that's not the way. And you start kind of, start thinking about that. And maybe it's too late, maybe not.
yeah.
And also as a Catholic, and it's funny, I think you're right that it's not any one religion, denomination like that. As
I
a
mean,
Catholic,
you got the river, which is common to that, but rivers, they're
yeah,
symbolic for,
yeah,
life itself, right? I
right.
mean, yeah,
And also, I think the video that you watched that had an image of the river, and
yeah,
that's very heaven-like, and seeing movies and pictures like that.
yeah,
So I definitely connected it with like the Catholic religion and God, Jesus,
right.
and so
Well,
I was looking
everyone's
at,
going to connect it to what they already know and their religious
absolutely, you're right.
imagery. So
Yeah,
that versatility that I really like. It doesn't get into anything specific.
and I think that was intentional on his part. That was a smart move,
Sure.
right? Because that means that you know it it could it could relate it could be related to by many, many more people than
Yeah.
just if he made it clear there was just this particular religion. That said, as a Catholic, then I was going over those lines where talking about um take a lot more than words and guns and riches and muscle, and actually even the verse before that, pay no mind to the battles you've won, it'll take a lot more than rage and muscle. And the
So
history of the Catholic Church, the
yeah, so it kind
Crusades,
of relates
the
to
religious
religious
wars
wars
that
and so
happened
on. Yeah, yeah,
many, 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 many
yeah.
centuries ago.
It's not just a matter of might.
Yeah, right. And even the Catholic Church today, there's some criticism that it's not the most inclusive. And so
Hmm.
when he sings about, open up your heart and hands, my son, um, the hands of many must join as one,
Hmm.
and together we'll cross the river. I love what he's saying there. He's, together, me helping you, you helping me.
Yeah.
Um, that will actually increase our chances of like life's fulfillment and enriching our lives. And, if you believe in heaven, maybe up your chances of getting there, so love
Hmm.
the message.
It
And
could
it's real,
even be something you attain while you're still living.
right.
Some sense of redemption or peace in your life.
And that goes back to what I was originally saying. Like my initial thought was, wow, someone who died, someone who is now, maybe purgatory or whatever, but trying to get over the river, trying to get to
Yeah.
heaven and can. And then I was like, well, he could, this could relate to someone right now living,
Mhm.
but starting to think, maybe my age, as
Yeah,
I get up there in
that's what we
years.
touched on earlier about you start reflecting on things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, our age, unfortunately. um, oh man, that's pretty heavy. I got a lot of thinking to do. Um,
sorry.
as far as the music goes,
Yeah,
I one of the things I really liked was I don't know what the big drum they were using. It might just be a bass
yeah,
drum,
yeah.
but there was so much reverb on that. I guess I don't know if technically you would call that reverb, but it had that distance to it where, and just that depth, that really added to the song. And it was unexpected. I don't remember
Yeah.
when it came in the song, but I was like, oh,
I'll
okay.
tell you when. So at the end of the first verse where he says, "Angel, angel, what have I done?" At the
Uh-huh.
very end of that, why can't I cross the river? All of a sudden, I think that's when the boom, that started, and then it just increased in pace, and then there was some more, and it was just a very heavy,
Yeah.
um, very effective um,
That's when we knew this
sound.
was a serious
Yeah,
song.
this is serious,
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, it was. It was
yeah.
a very serious song, song music wise, lyric wise, of course,
Now,
uh, music wise too.
what makes it, I think, all the more interesting. So a band that we're going to get into, I think, right down the road is Tool.
Right,
So the lead singer, his name is Maynard James Keenan,
right.
and he is the lead singer frontman of Tool. Um,
Oh,
and
okay, okay.
yeah, and there's another band too that he was, and I wrote it down, and I'm not getting it right now, but um, Tool is the main band. And
Right.
so this band right here, Puscifer, this is like what some had called his creative playground, where he would do like non-metal, non-heavy metal stuff with this particular project.
Okay.
I think it's more like a project than a band, from what I understand. Um,
Mhm.
and my understanding is that it's the seventh project for this for Puscifer, and
Okay.
um, it's just interesting, right? Because from what I know, I don't know a lot about Tool, but from listening to the songs that my sons are listening to, I know it's a heavy sound,
Mhm.
and so this is a completely like left turn at
Mhm.
Albuquerque kind of thing, right? You would never, I would never, know that, that this is a guy who plays and sings, that kind of stuff,
Right.
that band. So it's diversified, right? Definitely makes him very, even more, I think, very interesting, sort of, you know complicated, maybe, just
Yeah,
the fact
complex.
that he would come up with this song. And the other thing I wanted to say too is just digging into a little history, just doing some, who is he and where does he come from. So he was born to a Southern Baptist family in Ohio. So I don't know, may mean nothing or may mean
Mm,
something, but when you think about that, I'm sure the family was religious, so,
yeah, that was an
and
influence. Yeah,
yeah, absolutely,
even
big
if
time
just for the
influence.
imagery. Right.
Right. So maybe as you grow older, there is, seems to be that in his songs, from what I understand with Tool, and I think another band too that he's with, um, there is some sort of, he's kind of I'm not sure about anti-God, but anti-religion, right? And I think there's that distinction.
Maybe
Religion sometimes can mess things up.
anti-organized religion.
From what I understand, I mean, we need to dig into it more, but
Hmm.
um, I can definitely understand that, right? I mean, there's a spiritual part, right? If someone believes in God, and
Yeah, and then
the
there's the
spiritual
man-made
side,
stuff.
and then
Sure.
there's the whole organized and going to church, and then all the rules and regulations and all
Yeah.
like that. So, yeah, but just very, very interesting song, and just musically, this is one of the songs. And Chris, as we go along, and there's gonna be a song here or there where this is one of them where, like, within the last year, yeah, and it's really my son's influence.
Uh-huh.
As they are listening to these bands and discovering stuff, every once in a while they'll play a song as I'm like walking down the hallway or like drying the
Uh-huh.
dishes or something, and I
Right.
just stop, and I'm like, "What is that?" And this was one of them. Just stopped me dead in my tracks, and I
Yeah.
was just mesmerized
I don't
by
remember
just the
that ever
very
happening
steady.
with my parents. Well, they like some good stuff, some stuff that I listen to, but stopping in their tracks, like, oh hey, you know.
Listen to Perry Como.
No, actually, they were in, they listened to the Beatles and stuff like that. But all right.
Yeah,
So this was a
cool.
good one, man. I'm glad you had me listen to this one.
I think I'm on a
Got another
roll.
winner.
I don't think you've listened to anything where you wanted to jump virtually through the camera and strangle me. So I think this is, I
That's
think this
always a
is
good
good.
sign. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's always.
You get to live another day.